We're here. Hello and welcome to another edition of 5-Star Broadcast. I'm Andy Peck.
And I'm Angelo Parenti.
And this week we're going to rattle through some of the stuff that has been happening in the WWE. Some people leaving, some people coming back, some storylines developing, and maybe we'll have some time for questions at the end. So
let's start right off with I think it was a couple weeks ago they announced the big return of Batista.
Yeah.
And I don't think Andy Peck's a big Batista fan, but I'm personally excited to see it just because I'm excited to see a new face in wrestling. Whether or not he's going to be a heel or a face, I think it'd be kind of cool. I think no matter what, he's going to get a gigantic pop. Everyone's going to cheer, but that'd be kind of cool if he was like...
I hope he gets booed out of the building.
I don't think it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen because you have a lot of Batista fans out there, but I really hope the guy gets booed out of the building. I'm not a Batista fan, as Ange said. I'm not excited about his return. He does have a certain intensity to him, but you have Brock Lesnar now. I don't think you need Batista.
Yeah, I mean, I just think Batista, I heard he's going to be like... He's not going to be like Lesnar, who's only there for he shows up on Raw. He's here for a pay-per-view or so. I heard Batista signed like a 2-year deal.
Oh, really? Because I heard he was only going to be there till WrestleMania. I also heard he was going to be there for a little while longer, but I didn't hear 2 years.
Before 2 years, I heard he was going to be there until SummerSlam. I heard they were going to feud him with Punk actually after WrestleMania.
Oh, my God.
Yo, but I really, really miss Punk being the main guy. Like... Just because he just seems like, I don't know, I like when he had more mic time. I like when he wasn't a babyface and he wasn't a heel. He was just a dick. And I just miss it. And I just think he needs the belt back on him.
Yeah, I hope they give him the belt again. I mean, obviously he's my favorite guy that they have currently, so it's always nice to see your favorite have the title. I don't think he necessarily needs it, though. I think he could carry himself, through a feud with anybody. I think he's just kind of stagnant right now, though. I mean, he's in this thing with the Shield, but I mean, the story is more focused on them at this point, and like the dissension happening with them more so than it is with CM Punk. He's just kind of like the guy that's there, you know. But I don't know. A Batista CM Punk match and feud. I can't say I'm excited for that unless CM Punk just rips him apart on the mic for his belly button sun tattoo and his nose ring and everything else that's wrong with Batista.
I do think it's going to be cool to see, because, I mean, he's been out because of acting in movies. Hopefully that means he's probably going to be decent on the mic, you know?
I hope, but... I don't know. I mean, when he was leaving, he wasn't terrible on the mic. And if you remember, he went out a heel.
Yeah, I watched it the other day.
Yeah, sitting in a wheelchair, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just bitching, saying that he was done with the fans, done with everything. He's come back, obviously, but I kind of hope he goes with that character.
I started following him on Twitter, and he doesn't hold much back. Like, I'm sure WWE is gonna restrict a little bit, but he's been calling out Del Rio.
And he made a comment about Roman Reigns, saying something about, I forgot that when you get kicked in the head, you first have to make sure your hair is out of your eyes or something like that before you hit the ground. So he's definitely being a dick. So maybe he'll be Dick Batista.
Yeah, and I read that when he did leave, he wasn't happy about the whole PG era type thing. So, I mean, there's nothing he's going to do about it, but if he tries to sneak some non-PG stuff in there, that'll be kind of cool to just be like, I'm not saying he's CM Punk, but how CM Punk, pipe bombs and kind of... Even now, he's the guy who, when there's someone who's going to say a curse, it's going to be CM Punk, you know?
So, I don't know. Maybe if Batista has an edge to him, I'll find him more appealing. But right now, if it's pure babyface Batista, not having it, not a fan.
But we're saying there's more possibility of Andy Peck being a Batista, not fan, but being cool with it than Andy Peck going to see Paranormal Activity?
I'll open up to Batista and liking Batista before I'll open up and like Paranormal Activity.
All right, so they're saying there's a chance.
I'm saying there's a chance.
All right, so let's move on to the next return. Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar came back once again, and I know a lot of people were hoping that he came back during a Batista segment to put those two and clash them, but I kind of like what they're doing now. They're setting up, because, I mean, Brock Lesnar's basically, I don't know, he's lost almost everything since he's come back. He beat CM Punk, right, at SummerSlam?
I think he did, and I think it's really cool that they're saying he wants to go after the belt, because it seems like Brock Lesnar just comes back to beat the shit out of people. Yeah. But that's because we are always trying to figure out what matches they're going to make at WrestleMania. So does this mean that after Royal Rumble, the winner is, I mean, between that, there's just the Elimination Chamber, right?
Yeah.
So are we going to see Brock Lesnar against
the winner of the Royal Rumble?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Because he's calling it out right now. That's the whole point of him going on TV and having Heyman talk, is it's him saying that he wants the champion.
Yeah. And I think this feud right now with Big Show, that's going to build him up a little more and make him, what I was, getting to before, is he's been losing like almost every time he's been in a match. I mean, he's been dominant, but still losing. Mm-hmm. So I think they're going to give him the win over Big Show in the match at the Royal Rumble and kind of build him back up as a contender in everybody's eyes.
Yeah, and I'm fine with Big Show, Big Show, Lesnar at Royal Rumble. I remember one of them biggest thing is when he suplexed them in the ring crash.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they're gonna do that again. Maybe they could do something cool like that. But either way, it's gonna be cool to see Lesnar fight.
Yeah, I hope he F5s the Big Show. I want to see that again. It's been a little bit.
I mean, he put up Henry, no problem.
Yeah. Yeah, Mark Henry, I know a lot of people thought it was going to be maybe Mark Henry against Brock Lesnar, but I think they were just kind of feeding. Again, they're building Brock Lesnar back up. They're feeding him these bigger guys to make him look powerful again. And I mean, he starts with Mark Henry and now goes on to the Big Show. So, it's exciting to see Brock come back and actually kind of have a purpose now going for that title and going through the big guys.
So, we talk about the returns. Now we talk about someone leaving.
I know, and I'm so bummed.
Really?
Yeah, I'm bummed. We've talked in the past, but Kaitlyn's leaving the WWE. And we've talked about it before with her and AJ kind of being like, or could be like a modern day Trish and Lita. So I feel like her leaving now, you're not going to see that. You're not going to get that potential Trish and Lita type feud out of AJ and Kaitlyn. You're okay with it?
I mean, it's just, I don't know. I mean, even if AJ was leaving would suck, but I don't know. Maybe I just don't pay attention to you as much.
I don't know. I'm kind of bummed, but
it is. I think I watched the main event match.
I didn't watch it yet.
Yeah, I tried to watch it. And I was just thinking, unless like this was like out of the blue, they could have did some kind of match.
I think it may have been out of the blue because I mean, you think they would have done something and made up. Because, I mean,
it would have been a pretty big Divas match if they were like, if you lose, you're out of here.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And her and AJ have that history where they could have just picked that up and made it a storyline right away. So I think something did, like, just come across her and she just, put in her
Did she say
notice.
what she's doing?
Not yet, but it's supposed to be big and a surprise. And she's dating some guy that does bodybuilding and all that stuff. So who knows? It might be something down that route. But I don't know. I'm kind of bummed, but I do think it's cool that AJ tweeted this. Actually, her and AJ was Kaitlyn's first match. It was her tryout match, and it was her last match. So
yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was cool that they traveled together through that journey for Kaitlyn's career.
So, should we move on to questions, or is there something else?
Yeah, we can move along to questions. I just had the Wyatt family down, but we've kind of discussed that in previous episodes.
We're just gonna have to see what I know on SmackDown. It's gonna be, isn't there or something, a Wyatt match they made? Yeah,
I
think it's
not sure.
I think Punk and Bryan are teaming up. Wyatt, Bray Wyatt. And
yeah, you're
Daniel
right.
Bryan
Yeah, they are teaming
against
up
the Usos.
Yeah. So that'll be cool to see them actually team together and see if there's dissension between them, like there was against or with Daniel Bryan and Luke Harper.
Yeah.
So the first question that we have comes to us from Gracie, and she wants to know how we found out that wrestling is fake and what our reaction was. For me, I don't think there was ever a point where somebody just sat me down and said wrestling's fake, kind of like a Santa Claus type scenario. I think I just learned about it over time as I got on the internet and started reading more about the backstage stuff. I think that's how it was for me.
And really, I mean, since I've watched wrestling, I don't know, I think we talked about this before, how young we were. It was like literally like 5 or 6 years old. I don't think I've ever cared that it was fake or not. Like, I get it. I understand that punching people in the head in real life, it's gonna fucking hurt, and there's a good chance they're not gonna get back up. I just didn't care. I loved watching it. Like, there's so much to get involved and be entertained by than to worry about it being fake and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you watch movies and that's fake. You watch TV shows and that's fake. This is just another form of entertainment, except it's live and there's some physical aspect to it. So people that kind of dismiss wrestling because it's quote-unquote fake, I think that's kind of foolish because they're missing out on this awesome performance art.
And it just gets me, like, I think I would get really defensive about it when people would start the bash.
When I was younger, yeah, definitely. I mean, as I get older, I'm just kind of like, well, you're stupid. Move along. You don't know what you're talking about.
But, yeah, it just was never a real big deal because I enjoyed it so much and nothing was going to change my mind.
Yeah. Do you remember the behind-the-scenes wrestling thing that they did? I think it was on NBC or something.
I watched it so many times.
Yeah, that was really good with like the generic like gimmicks and stuff, and the gimmick tables and the granny and like it was just an entertaining segment. I forget what that was called though.
I was just so like when they showed how they blade and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah, I think that was my first time seeing that they bladed and everything. Because by that point I knew that wrestling was fake, but I thought like certain aspects of it.
I think it was just called Secrets of Wrestling.
It may have been, yeah.
It reminds me of what that whole, they do that magic thing.
Yeah, Secrets of Magic, yeah. Yeah.
But, next question.
Yeah, we got one, actually two from Shane. He wants to know with the New Year's coming up, what are some things that we want to see with 2004, some feuds we'd like to see, and also some things we'd like to see them stop doing because resolutions are time for change. I'd like to see them focus more on the Divas division. I'd like to see them focus more on the tag division like they've been doing. I'd like to see them build up the Intercontinental title.
Yeah. Do you think they should do that whole unifying the Intercontinental and United States?
Yes, I think
that was cool that they did a poll about that.
Yeah, and I think they're kind of leaning towards that. And they had an interview with Big E and Dean Ambrose. It was just kind of like a text post, but they had an interview with both of those, getting a reaction to it, and they both kind of seemed for it, that they were up to the challenge.
Who knows? Maybe they could do that as a WrestleMania match.
Yeah,
because that's kind of. I mean, they could make it a big deal about unifying those belts because it doesn't seem like anything's going on for Royal Rumble or anytime soon between those two.
Yeah, if they do it for WrestleMania, it'd make it, like you said, more prestigious and a bigger match. And I definitely think it's needed. Then you would have more focus on the storylines and building up the characters instead of having people just fight for belts that mean nothing. Less is more in this aspect when it comes to titles.
Yeah.
What do you want to see them not do?
I wish they would just get rid of the goofy stuff. Like the dancing and the jokes that aren't funny. Yeah. Like, that's the thing. When people are always like, I wish they'd do the Attitude Era stuff. Like, I don't care that they don't curse or show half-naked ladies. And I don't even care about not seeing blood as much. I just wish the PG era is one thing, but to do all these things that they think that, it's because they're younger kids. I don't think younger kids need to see the Great Khali dancing and stuff like that. Like, I wish there wasn't as much goofy stuff. Yeah, like some humor's fine, but there's too much of it right now. I agree. But I think we're running out of time for this week, so submit some questions to us for next time. And I think our contest is almost done. Yeah, our contest will probably have ended by now.
by the time this airs, so
But-
the next ones will show you the winners.
But thanks to everyone who participated.
Yeah, and thanks to everybody who's voting.
We're out of here.
See ya.